Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making this beautiful dress. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? So I started by marking my startup line, and then I took my bust measurements, my under bust, my waist, and I added 2 inches after my waist measurements, then my hip line and the gown length. I used 35 here, but you can use your own measurements. Okay, so I marked the lines that I just mentioned now. I drew the points together, my bust line, my under bust, my waist, then 2 inches after my waistline, and then my hip line and the length of the dress. Then I took my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. My neckline here I used 3 by 3.5. Okay, the depth is 3.5, while the width is 3 inches. Then I drew my neckline. After my shoulder measurement, what was remaining is 6 inches. But if you're marking your own, you can use 8 inches after your shoulder measurement, okay, or 10 inches. But because my paper is too small, so I just had to use what I have. So I labeled the lines, okay. I took my nipple to nipple measurement. Here I used 4 inches, okay. 4 inches on the bust point, under bust, waist, below waist, and then I came up by 2 inches after my hip. Okay, came up by 2 inches and joined the points together, and that's the nipple to nipple measurement I took. On the waist I marked 1/2 inch on both sides, then connected it to my bust point and then to the 2 inches I came up with after my hip. Okay, then on the length, I took 5 inches because at the down part, it's not the same. It's not. It's bigger. Okay, that's why I took 5 inches instead of 4 inches. And on my shoulder, I took half of my shoulder measurement. Okay, and then draw the line to meet the bust point, and then took 1/2 inch on one side, just the way I just did it. Okay, to meet the bust point again. Then I took my under bust measurements, added 2 inches to it, and replaced that 1/2 inch there for that. My waist, I took my waist measurement, replaced the dart, and added 2 inches too. On my hip, I also took my hip measurements and added 2 inches. On the length, I also took my hip measurements and added 2 inches to it. Okay. Then I connected the points together. I didn't take my bust measurement because I don't need it. That place is actually going to be free kind of, so I didn't need the bust measurement here. My sleeve opening here, I used 10 inches, okay. And you know the under bust, they're going to gather it, so I had to add more inches to it. But because my paper is small, like I said, I'll just use what I have. But if you're doing your own, you have to increase it because this paper is small. Okay, like the shoulder I used 6, but you can use 8 or 10, something like that after your shoulder measurement. So I now have to cut it following the lines, the dart lines. Then cut my neckline. Just follow the lines and cut. This is actually the front, okay? And this is the front pattern. Let's cut off the darts, the shoulder slant, and then the under bust. Cut off my waist. That's the low waist. You know, I added 2 inches after the waist. So this is the point that is going to be gathered to the under bust. Okay. Then I slanted it from the waist to the low waist. And this is all for the front. This is the back. I've already marked the lines, the points. So I took my my neckline 3 by 1 inch for the back neckline. Is a high neck at the back. So 3 by 1 is okay. Planted my shoulder by 1. Then I took my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches here. My nipple to nipple is 3.5, but anytime I'm using 4 inches or while drafting, while cutting on my fabric, I don't used to add allowance again for joining because I've already used 4 for it. So if I'm cutting on my fabric, I don't add ½ inch for joining, because if I add it, that will be like, it will be more than my nipple to nipple, and it's not going to sit on my nipple again. It's going to be going by the side because my nipple to nipple is not 8 inches, it's 7. So if your nipple to nipple is 8 inches, while cutting, and you use 4 as your nipple to nipple, while cutting, you have to add allowance. Okay. So in on my back, I don't add that to it because I'm not going to add allowance while cutting. I'll just cut it straight like this. I just did. I didn't add any that on it. Okay. But if you want to add, you can add that. But for me, I don't add that to my back because I already know that I'll still join with ½ inch without adding allowance while cutting on my fabric. So that's why I not add that. And you know it's back. There's no breast in the back. So but you can add that if that's how you cut your own. Okay. But this is how I do mine. And remember to add your zipper allowance while cutting on your fabric. So we're just doing the same thing we did for the front. The only thing is that there's no that intake at the back and the neckline is not the same. Okay. But every other thing is the same. The measurements, the allowance you add is the same. But the difference is just that intake that we took in the front and we do not take it at the back. Okay. Cut following the lines. Okay. If there is any difference between the front and the back armhole, you can always trim it, okay, so that both of them will line. Or anywhere there's a difference, you just have to just make both of them to be equal, okay. In case after joining your clothes, the back and the front, maybe the shoulders are no longer equal, something like that, you just have to trim one to be equal to the other. Also slanted from the waist to the low waist and then cut just like I did for the front. Okay, so for this part now, I had to slash and spread, okay, because there's a split. So I have to share it into 1 inch and then join it to the end, just like I'm doing and then cut it. I bought another pepper to place on it so that it will give me more volume. You know, they pleated that part, so you have to make it more so that you can be able to pleat. So the spacing here is 2 inches. Okay, you can do depending on what you want. You can do three, but here I used 2 inches to 2 inches difference. Okay, that's what you're going to do for the front and the back. Okay, you can actually use one and cut for front and back because there's no difference. Instead of doing this for the front and also doing it for the back, you can use this front one, okay, to cut for both front and the back. I don't know if you understand. Instead of doing this for front and still doing it for the back, okay, you can use this one to do both. After doing the last one, the next thing is to cut it, okay, following the lines. Make sure you are cutting in a straight line, okay. Then when I get to the last one, I added some inches to it instead of just cutting at the exact line, okay. So this is what it's going to look like when you finish joining all this side that we cut off. You now pleat on it, okay. After pleating it, you also pleat the back, then you join the side seams together, okay.